In this lesson, you will learn about there is and there are. There is a zoo in Washington, D.C. There are 3 pandas at the zoo. There is a camera in the panda area so people can watch the pandas from home. This describes or tells about pandas at the zoo. It uses there is and there are to tell us what we can find there. Let's look at some more sentences with there is and there are. These sentences describe a soccer stadium. Let's look. There is a soccer stadium at the university. There are 10,000 seats. There aren't any people in the stadium now. There isn't a game today. These sentences tell us about the soccer stadium. This is how we use there is and there are. Let's look at how to form it. We look at the noun to decide the verb form. Here is a sentence. There is a computer on the desk. Instead of looking at there, we look to computer, the main noun in the sentence. This is a singular noun, so we use the singular form of be. There are books on the desk. Here, we look at books, and this is a plural noun. So, we use the plural form of be. There are books on the desk. There is a very big park in New York City. Central Park has many trees. There are many sports fields. There are small lakes. There is a stone bridge. There is even a zoo. These sentences tell you about Central Park. They tell you what you can find there. That's how we use there is and there are. We use there is and there are to describe. We use them to describe a place or tell about what is in a place. Look at this classroom. What do you see? There is a whiteboard. There are 3 chairs. There are 2 backpacks. There is a table. There are papers on the table. All of these sentences describe the classroom. Notice that there is goes with a singular noun, and there are goes with a plural noun. Let's practice. You try. Look at the sentences. They describe Amy's new apartment. Fill in the blanks with there is or there are. Look at the nouns to decide singular or plural. Ready? Okay, let's look at the answers. Amy has a new apartment. There is a small kitchen. There are 2 bedrooms. There is 1 bathroom. There are big windows in the living room. It's on the 5th floor, but there is an elevator. Okay? There are many things on this desk. There is a computer. There's a cup of tea. There are many papers. There's a green lamp. Do you see the contractions? There's a cup of tea and there's a green lamp. These are the contractions of there is. It is very common to use contractions with there is. There are many papers. There are many papers. You might hear this when people speak, but there are is not a contraction, so do not write it. Let's look at some other possible mistakes. This beach is crowded. You may want to say, there has many people, but this is not correct. We need to use the be verb, not have. There are many people. We use there are. You might think you hear, there's a lake in the park, but you probably don't. This is incorrect. There's a lake in the park is correct. Listen again. There's a lake in the park. When you hear it, the S may sound very small, but it's there. We need that be verb. There's a lake in the park. Look at the photo. There is a blue sofa. There is a pillow on the sofa. There is a small table. There isn't a plant. There aren't pictures on the wall. There aren't people in the room. Now you see we've got some negative contractions that look just like the contractions for be verb. They're not any different. To form the negative of there is, there are, use the negative form of be. There is not a plant in the room. There isn't a plant in the room. There are not pictures on the wall. There aren't pictures on the wall. Let's try. Look at the photo. You need to fill the blanks with there is, there are, or the negative. There is not, there are not. Maybe you want to pause the video and try it. Okay, are you ready for answers? Let's look. There is a bed, and there are 2 small tables. However, there is not a closet. There are not plants. There is not a lamp. There is not a TV. Okay? Okay, now let's try with contractions. So there is turns to there's. There's a bed, and there are, I can't change this one, remember? There's no contraction for. So there are 2 small tables. However, there isn't a closet. There aren't plants. There isn't a lamp. And there isn't a TV. Okay? Okay, now you understand how to use there is and there are. So when we read these sentences, you can see why there is and why there are, or the negative, there isn't, there aren't. Let's read it one more time. There is a soccer stadium at the university. That's singular. There isn't a game today. That's singular and negative. There are 10,000 seats. That's plural. There aren't any people in the stadium now. That is also plural and also negative.